the 1980s, the Israeli Prime Minister Begin decided to strike the nation of Iraq after intelligence reports came out that Iraq could produce a nuclear weapon in 1 to 2 years. Other intelligence reports also came out that they might not have a nuclear weapon for 5 to 10 years. But considering he had a recent election that he had to win, he needed something to gain support on. And he chose the intelligence reports which stated Iraq would have a nuclear weapon in 1 to 2 years. This Israeli strike against Iraq can actually be seen today internationally with a recent Israeli action that has provoked international attention. We take a look to a Associated Press May 31st article which states that Israeli commando units boarded and raided a Turkish aid vessel, a naval vessel, and actually killed 9 Palestinian activists. And this commando raid has sparked much international upset. Such actions by Israel begs us to ask the question today: how will this affect the relationship with the United States, Israel's relationship with Turkey, and Israel's relationship with the international community? And what we will see is that this recent action by Israel is starting to isolate it even further internationally, as well with its closest friend, the United States. Well, first we will take a look, and we will see how it has affected its relationship with the United States. And according to a May 31st Associated Press article, it is testing already stressful relationship with the United States administration. Obama, according to the May 31st New York Times article, has stated a deep regret concerning Israel's actions. And literally a couple hours after the incident occurred, the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, realized how this could damage his relationship with the U.S. and immediately called Obama. However, this call he made to Obama may not be enough to savage the relationship with the United States. And the reason for this is their actions have actually taken a significant backlash with efforts that the U.S., Israel, and Palestine were recently making regarding the Palestinian-Israel conflict, and will make it more difficult for the United States to now give any type of support to Israel. However, the other reason why this is straining the relationship with Israel and the United States is because depending on how the United States reacts to Israel will depend on how the Middle East reacts to the United States. The United States is in a precarious situation with Iran, where it's trying to stop it from pursuing proliferation with nuclear weapons. And if the United States is seen as being too soft on Israel, it will erupt anger among many Middle Eastern nations, including Iran. So what we can see is that the relationship between the United States and Israel is very dangerous, because it is causing the United States to be put in a very difficult position on how it reacts to Israel, because that will affect how the Middle East reacts to the United States, and also the progress that we once had with the Palestinian and Israeli conflict. But additionally, to further understand the situation, we'll have to see what Israel's actions have done to its relationship with Turkey. And what we can see is that their actions with Turkey on attacking this vessel with its commando units not only straining the relationship with Turkey too, but is actually having collateral damage internationally. But first, to take a look at the relationship between Israel and Turkey. We can see according to the Daily News May 31st article that the Prime Minister of Turkey has actually stated that they will not be silent in the face of inhumane terrorism. And we can see that both sides of the equation are using terrorism to justify many of their actions. In addition, the Israeli consulate in Istanbul was actually attacked by many citizens of Turkey, and that the citizens of Turkey actually began throwing stones at Israeli soldiers in Turkey at the embassy. Now, this relationship with Turkey that has just been deteriorated can also be seen as how the relationship between Israel and the international community has also been deteriorated. And we take a look at CNN May 31st article, which states that the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, has condemned the violence and is demanding that Israel explain its actions. Now, the General Secretary of the United Nations is not the only one that's demanding an explanation. According to the CNN wire staff, this deadly incident that was just between Turkey and Israel has created an international crisis, which further explains Israelis' need to come up with a solution to the problem. This incident has actually sparked protests in other nations as well. Not only was the Israeli consulate in Turkey attacked, but Israeli consulates and embassies in Sweden, Greece, Norway, and many other nations have had to deal with demonstrations over international anger towards Israel. And in Greece, riot police had to actually come out and use stun grenades and tear gas to break up demonstrations. So what we can see is that the strained relationship that Israel has created with Turkey has now affected its relationship with every nation across the globe. However, we have to ask ourselves, what are some ways that we can resolve this global crisis? And we can see there may be some potential resolutions or resolutional techniques that can be applied in order to solve the problem. Now, we're actually going to take a look at the book, Essentials in Negotiation, written by Lewicki, Sanders, Berry, and Minton. And we're going to use techniques from that book and apply it to today's global crisis and show how they may possibly lead to a potential resolution. The first technique that Israel will have to employ in order to ensure its success in the future is reframing. They will have to reframe this firefight that went on at the Turkish vessel to be a deep misunderstanding and an incident, rather than calling it an attack. Because as an attack, it could almost be seen as an act of war. But besides reframing this incident, they will also have to make a concession and admit that they made a tragic mistake. And as we know, Israel is not the first to admit that it has made a tragic mistake, nor is the United States, nor are many other countries. But it must make a concession in order to possibly receive any type of sympathy or empathy for its actions. Additionally, its opening stance, when coming to the bargaining table, must be apologetic. They can't use any hardball techniques in an attempt to try to trick or manipulate or try to reframe the incident. Additionally, they will have to most likely establish a public commitment, because as the authors of this book, Essentials in Negotiation, state, a commitment publicly increases the potency of the agreement between them and other nations. Because when one makes a public statement, it is much harder to take a step back from it. And such a public statement will have to admit a mistake on their part. So when we take a look at today's situation, what we can see is that Israel has not only hurt its relationship with the United States, a once close military ally, but it's also hurt its relationship with Turkey and the international community. And if it decides to take action, its actions for a potential resolution must ensure that it admits its mistake, that it reframes the situation, and that it makes a public commitment that no further attacks will be made in order to ensure diplomatic success by the nation of Israel. And unlike the 1980s when Israel attacked Iraq, Israel will not be able to claim that this Turkish vessel in any way posed a nuclear threat to the nation.